O-Level Pack Studies 2059 P1, Question 3, May-June 2024. Question 3a. Describe the work of the Hunter Committee. For marks? Answer. The Hunter Committee, established in October 1919 and led by Lord Hunter, was an official British inquiry into the Jallianwala Bagh massacre and other disturbances in Punjab. The committee gathered evidence and interviewed witnesses, including General Dyer, who defended his actions by stating he fired to create a moral effect. In its 1920 report, the committee condemned Dyer's actions as a grave error of judgment but did not impose severe punishment, merely relieving him of his command. This lenient verdict was viewed by Indians as a whitewash, fueling widespread anger and distrust of British justice. Question 3b. Explain why the Hyderabad could not support the Khilafat movement. 7 marks. Answer. The Hyderabad movement of 1920 was an extreme protest linked to the Khilafat cause, where some religious leaders declared British India a Dar-ul-Harb, land of war. They urged Muslims to perform Hyderabad migration to a Muslim country, primarily Afghanistan, to show their complete rejection of British rule. Thousands of Muslims, mostly from poorer backgrounds, sold their homes and land to undertake this journey, believing it was a religious duty that would strengthen the Khilafat movement by demonstrating their unwavering commitment and putting pressure on the British government. However, the Hyderabad movement failed disastrously and ultimately weakened the Khilafat cause. The Afghan government was unprepared for the massive influx of refugees and soon closed its borders. The migrants faced immense hardship, poverty, and starvation, and many returned destitute and disillusioned. Instead of supporting the movement, this tragedy diverted energy and resources, impoverished thousands of potential supporters, and created bitterness towards the leaders who had advocated it. The failure of the Hyderabad demoralized the movement's base and proved to be a damaging and counterproductive strategy. Question 3c. The partition of Bengal in 1905 was the main reason for the formation of the Muslim League in 1906. How far do you agree with this statement? Explain your answer. 14 marks. Answer. I agree that the partition of Bengal was a crucial and immediate catalyst, but I disagree that it was the main reason for the formation of the Muslim League. The League's creation was the culmination of several long-term factors that had been developing for decades. The partition acted as the final trigger that brought these underlying issues to the forefront, but the political groundwork for a separate Muslim organization was already well established. The partition was significant as it created the new province of East Bengal with a Muslim majority. Many Muslims welcomed this, seeing it as an opportunity for better political representation and economic advancement, free from the dominance of the Hindu elite. However, the fierce Hindu-led protests against the partition, such as the Swadeshi movement, alarmed the Muslim community. They felt that the Indian National Congress was only protecting Hindu interests, confirming their fears that their own rights would be ignored in a united, Hindu-dominated India. This demonstrated the urgent need for a separate political body. Even more immediate to the League's founding was the Simla Deputation of October 1906. Here, a delegation of prominent Muslim leaders, led by the Aga Khan, met Viceroy Minto and successfully put forward their demand for separate electorates. Minto's favorable response was a major victory, proving that a permanent, organized political party could effectively secure Muslim rights from the British. This success, occurring just before the League's founding in December, was a powerful motivator in itself, establishing a clear political objective for the new party. Furthermore, the roots of Muslim separatism ran deeper. The political philosophy of Sir Syed Ahmed Khan had long encouraged Muslims to focus on education, remain loyal to the British, and pursue a separate path from the Hindu-dominated Congress. The failure of the 1892 Indian Councils Act to provide adequate representation for Muslims, coupled with the Urdu-Hindi language controversy, had already fostered a sense of a distinct and threatened Muslim identity. The British policy of divide and rule also encouraged a separate Muslim platform to counter the growing influence of Congress. In conclusion, the partition of Bengal was a powerful catalyst that crystallized Muslim fears and provided the immediate impetus for action. However, it was not the main reason in isolation. It built upon a foundation of long-term anxieties, the legacy of Sir Syed, the specific political goals achieved at Simla, and British encouragement. Therefore, the partition is best understood as the final spark that ignited a fire for which the fuel had been gathering for many years.